estate success over the years to getting to now the last, I don't know how many years it's been this trend, but this year so far it's over 40 sides and over 40 million. And that's, not an easy feat, and that's a lot to manage all at the same time, but it's a lot to build up to. And hopefully some of the strategies that he has used can help our agents today get to that even faster. And stay there consistently. So with that, thank you, Matt, for being our star of the show today.
Yeah, appreciate the intro. My roadmap was interesting, and I do talk a little bit about that on this call, but it's not for everyone. And the moral of the story really is you need to be yourself. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to accomplish the goals that you set forward by being someone else. So, yeah. Appreciate the intro. 20 years in the business. I think the past 14 in a row have been at 40 million plus. A lot of people on this call have been a part of that journey, and I definitely could not have done it without them. I am in my final year of real estate. It is absolutely insane. Like, I'm only working half of 2026. I've done a lot of succession planning. We have a lot of calls happening with myself and Cheryl and Blaze and Jane and everybody that works with me. It's been amazing. It's been humbling, and just speaking to you guys and having an audience to share my journey. I talk with Dave all the time. He's awesome. I mean, there's people out there, if you don't show up for a call like this, there's 100 brokers in this business. The fact that you guys are on this call means you care, and that's the first and foremost objective of this business, is caring. If you don't care, you're never going to be able to grow your business. So for the other, 80 brokers that want to do deals, and I'm sure if I called every broker and said, hey, do you want this lead? They would be like, yeah, well, they're not on this call, which to me is mind blowing. Not that I'm, the holy grail of real estate, but I do have some tidbits that I can share with you guys to help you be a success. And I've been coaching Dave kind of privately and giving him some insight. But this really is a fantastic business. And I've really enjoyed the connection with the clients. And I think the clients enjoy me. And that's where you guys are going to have to stay genuine and true to yourself. Because I know that if I called a lot of your guys' clients, they would just have nothing but great things to say about you. And that speaks volumes when they give you referrals and when they give you repeat business. And all of that starts to happen after year 5, 6, 7, where you did, 10, 15 deals your first year, and then all of a sudden this boulder keeps moving, and you pick up all these clients, repeat clients and referrals, and you can really have a strong business. Even though this gets slow this time of year, and January comes, you're like, wow, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. But you'll have the confidence year after year to have a successful real estate career. So again, it's just humbling to talk to you guys. There is not one path to be successful in this business. You have to understand that. And I'll talk about this later on the call, what you can do to emulate other successful brokers just to get ideas. Because some ideas are going to resonate with you and some are not. I have been, again, a broker for 20 years. I sort of fumbled into a super successful career because of my previous job. First 3 or 4 years in business, I was doing probably $6 million a year, pretty consistently, about 4 or 5 years of that. And I felt like that was a really strong real estate career. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and felt really good about that. The business I came from was based on reviews. And I knew that customers had confidence in people's reviews. Look at how you buy stuff on Amazon. You look at reviews. You may not read them all, but you're looking at them. And that gives you confidence to buy that product or work with that vendor. So I leaned into the review world. I really leaned into Yelp because that was one of the first people on the market to get reviews for consumers. And that was really what catapulted my career. I was then able to connect with people and interview with so many new clients that gave me opportunities to be a really successful broker. I don't know if everyone had that opportunity, they would succeed, because it was super labor intensive. It was exhausting. It was terrifying, but the journey was worth it. And I couldn't have asked for a better platform to get me in front of all those people. And that really worked for for 10 years. Now I'm really just relying on my referrals and my repeat business because Yelp has since gone by the wayside. They are probably not even a player in the review world. Google came on the scene about 5-8 years ago. And I really do recommend that you guys lean into the review world. If you're not having your clients write reviews for you, you are silly because everyone's going to Google you. Anyone that interviews you is going to Google you and want to learn a little bit about your previous jobs and communication with your clients and how you handle transactions. And if you don't have reviews out there, it's crazy. And it's a humbling thing to do, to go and ask your clients to write a review for you. But I'm telling you, that is how I built my career, solely on reviews. So if you're not using these platforms, and I do suggest you use Google because again, Yelp is kind of fizzled, you have to do it. And don't worry, everyone starts with one review. Don't be intimidated looking on there and seeing, Joe Schmo has 100 reviews. Why am I starting? Well, Joe started at one. Everybody in this business started with one deal. So get yourselves organized. Get out there and ask every single one of your clients. I don't care if you help them rent a $500 apartment. If they're not writing reviews for you, it blows my mind that you are not using this, because every single one of you uses reviews to navigate your life. I can guarantee it. So that's first and foremost. Your sphere of influence is critical, guys. You know that I've preached on that. Contacting people is so easy. Hold on. Somebody wrote me a personal letter today. Like, I just went in the garbage. Somebody literally wrote me a personal letter, and I opened it up. I mean, and it was heartfelt. Like, there's shit in there, and I can't. And Howie did this for years. He wrote personal letters. It works. You guys, touching someone on a personal level versus an email is next level. So for people that have done 10 deals this year, if you're not writing handwritten letters to your clients during the holidays or on their birthday or something, again, it's crazy. You have to learn how to connect with your clients. And you may think it's a waste of time. You may think it's silly. You may think it's foolish. I mean, I don't get a lot of these. And I know none of you get a lot of these. So when you get it, you're like, that's kind of cool. And it was very personal. And I helped them. So for me, and I got paid, but they still wrote me a letter thanking me because I went above and beyond. This was the St. Louis house that we rehabbed, Jane and Blaze, for my client who lived in California, and whatever. Very thankful. So lean into your contacts, build your contacts, scrub every single resource you have, all of your friends from high school on Facebook, all of your college friends. Like, you have to really dig deep. My sphere of influence, my contacts, if I pull them up right now, and this is something you should look at every year and should be a goal. Right, it's calculating. I have 4,850 contacts in my database. So if you guys aren't looking at your contacts every day and figuring out how to grow that number, again, that is a key to your success. And I'm not talking about like spamming people and stealing lists. I'm talking about genuinely adding contacts that are in your database. I would say probably 500 are realtors in there, but I try and scrub them out too. But really work on your database. That is so important. Let people know you are a broker. That was something that seemed really funny. Like, you'd be going to an event, you'd be going to a social event, a birthday party, anything. You need to really kind of wear that badge and let people know that that's your job. Lean into, hey, what do you do for work? And they're going to ask you. Everyone loves talking about real estate. There's television shows about us. It's mind-blowing that there is, but there are tons and tons of people looking at reels, looking at houses, wondering what their value is, planning their future, and everything really revolves around where they live. So lean into knowledge. If you're going to talk about being a real estate broker, you sure as shit better know the market that you're talking about and living in and working in. So every single Monday, I would actually, previously, I don't do this anymore, but I used to have all of the listings in Logan Square and Bucktown sent to me, condos and single family homes. I had searches set up on the MLS. So I would know exactly what's happening. I was doing a ton of deals in those neighborhoods. So anytime I would talk to somebody, they would be like, oh, did you see this go live? And I saw that listing. And I don't walk them all, but if you're knowledgeable and you know pricing and you can talk about something at a dinner party, you're going to have instant credibility versus looking like a goof and not knowing values, not knowing single family values, condo values in neighborhoods. Generally speaking, you know, you want to have that rapport. You want to have, and that takes studying. That doesn't mean, and time and energy. So I would spend enormous amounts of time canvassing listings for my clients and just knowing the marketplace. So that is really something that's very important. And any of the top brokers that you see are going to have that knowledge because they're out doing it every day. You know, when you're doing 60, 80 deals a year, you know the marketplace. But if you're not, kind of fake it till you make it. Study those listings, know the market so you can talk about it when you're being grilled. I did like some marketing strategies early on. I'm a big fan of an email blast. Every single month we've had email blasts. And some of the longtime, you know, Mark Allen people here know that we run through different companies, different strategies, but having that email blast that goes out with some content, whether it's kitschy and quirky or not, I think just keeps you top of mind. You're going to have unsubscribes. You're going to have people emailing you back and be like, what the fuck are you sending me? That's fine. Any news is good news from people. So I really think that that's something that we should have from ERA above and beyond the whatever they're sending out, the month, your neighborhood news. I like that, but I'd always liked a content-based email that really kept clients engaged, and they would resonate on one or the other and reach out to me periodically. I just got an email this morning that someone wants to buy a multi-unit after buying them a house last year. So again, if you don't send them follow-ups, they will forget about it. Like, I don't remember everyone's name, and people are busy. So make sure you're doing your follow-ups via automated email. Social media, I never had to do it, but it is part of today's world. I don't think you have to do it, but I think if you're good at it and you want to have that presence, do it. You may or may not go viral, but the reality is people in your reels are going to see you, and that's, again, a way for them to remember who you are and that you're a realtor. Remember this, you do not have to be a viral Instagram star to get business from Instagram. Your goal really is to stay top of mind with your sphere of influence, not the entire fucking world. I don't care if people in California are seeing my reel. If you go viral, great. That's fantastic. There are a handful of brokers out there in this industry that do rely on Instagram to build a business, but it's not necessary. It really is about your sphere, getting that connection, making sure they're seeing you, and just being top of mind for when they want to buy something, when they want to refer a realtor, that you're that person. I think don't be scared of it. Nobody gives a shit. Like, no one's judging you. They may be judging you while they're scrolling, but they're never, after they're done it on the next one, they're not thinking about it. So if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, I really don't care. But it will help you stay top of mind just because that's where people are spending their time. Open houses. I mean, Blaze can tell this story. Jane can tell this story. They hate seeing open houses when they pop up on their calendar. Well, not hate, but they're like, oh, another open house. But you get clients from it. Blaze just told me this morning she may have a client for one of our listings that she did an open house. That's part of the business. You're building this, you know, presence out there where people are walking in the door. And if you could sell them, that's a deal, man. I mean, if you can get one a year, and I think we do average about one a year, it's pretty fantastic. And the dollars per hour are there. So try and do as many open houses as you can. Put yourself out there. Talk to brokers in the office and see who's got listings in neighborhoods that you want to work in, and get your face on the street and start talking to clients. It's also a great way to just learn the business and talk to clients and build your rapport with clients, because that's also not easy. I mean, I fumbled over a bazillion conversations with people walking in the door, and you know, sometimes it's Saturday morning and it could have been a rough Friday night. So you got to be on your game, and there's no other way to get a game going than to host open houses. And I've talked about this with Shannon and other brokers. You guys should be touring open houses if you're junior agents, just for shits and giggles, just to see inventory, just to hear how brokers are talking to you when you're walking through the door. You could tell them you're a realtor. You could pretend you're a client. I don't care. You can dress up as Mickey Mouse. But if you're walking through houses, you're going to start getting experience on, again, hearing how brokers talk to people, understanding what homes look like, different floor plans, and especially in neighborhoods that you're working in, you'll start getting a better idea of what things look like. So work on your marketing. I do like farming also. If you're going to work in a neighborhood or a building, I love that. But with farming, you guys have to be consistent. You cannot send out, mailers for 2 months and be like, oh, this didn't work. Screw that. Like, this is something that takes years to build. Farming is a multi-year process. And I did it in Logan Square. I got some of my best clients from farming, but I did it every single quarter for 4 years. So, and I partnered with Barry Schwartz on this, and we would send mailers out, and he would forget about it all the time because he's paying for a portion of it. And I'd be like, Barry, let's go. Like, I want my next proof. So every single quarter it would pop up on my calendar and be like, all right, it's time to send the mailer. Sometimes we do just sold, sometimes we do just bought, sometimes we talk about something in the neighborhood. But every single quarter, my face was going to 500-600 people in Logan Square, and I got deals from it. So you have to be consistent with any of your marketing. This is not a one and done. Phone calls, farming, anything that you're doing, social media, email blast, it is a game of consistency, and it is a long play. This is not something that you go and do for a month or two. So that you really have to understand. So many people just do it once and like, fuck this. No, you have to be consistent for years and years and years. Lead gen, sign up for every single pay for performance lead gen system in the world. I have probably done 20 to 50 deals from pay for performance lead gen systems. Dana's been kind enough to scrub the internet and find all of these companies that do it. Chase does it. There's a bunch of different companies that do pay for performance. That means no setup fee on the front end, truly pay for performance lead gen. You're crazy if you're not using those. Zillow, listen, it works. It 100% works. It costs money. You're going to get deals from it. You're going to get referrals from those deals. My buddy Matt Literacy, love him or hate him, the dude's built a business on Zillow. I remember talking to one of the Zillow reps. I never spent $1 on Zillow, but I've spoken with those knuckleheads a bazillion times. And one of the guys I was actually friendly with through Sam Schaefer. Anyway, he told me at one point, he said Matt Literacy spends the equivalent of buying a new car every single month on Zillow. He was spending like $20,000 a month on Zillow. Probably still is. I'm sure he still is. He is all about first-time home buyers. His average cost is $400,000, and he's doing 8 million deals. So that is a very viable business. Any pay-for-performance lead gen that you're doing, please vet it. Make sure it's not some, pay $500 and then they disappear. Work with a reputable company, Homes.com, Zillow, Trulia. Those guys, it works. But again, you have to do it for 6 months or a year. You can't just do 1 month and then quit, because that is not going to give you a sample size. There's also a ramp-up period of you learning how to deal with lead gen. It's a lot of work when you're getting inbound leads. So make sure you have a system, make sure you have a time, make sure you have your settings in place for your back end where you're putting people in and contacting them immediately, because when your phone rings and that lead happens, you better be there, because otherwise they're going to the next person immediately. People want a response within 4 seconds in this world for almost anything. So that is something that's really important, but you got to make sure you're spending money where you're going to get an ROI. I also like local papers, any type of religious organization, anything that you can relate to. That is also a great place to put your face. So think about lead gen, but again, think about it the same way you would on any other marketing strategy. You must be consistent. Making phone calls, we've had these processes. It'll wear you down mentally, but there's a lot of people out there that have made an enormous amount of money making 50, 60 calls a day. It's not for everyone, but it's a strategy. I do believe in setting goals. I think this is a good time to do it when you're terrified. It's December, your phone's not ringing, and you have no idea what next year is going to bring. Make sure you're setting goals, both performance goals and your lead gen marketing goals. Set a plan, make sure you understand how to execute that plan, and put it on paper. I mean, I do a lot of thinking in random times and random spots when I don't have paper, but I'm really good about using my notes on my phone to pull it out when I have a great idea or I have a good thought and putting it in there and then working on the plan afterwards. So whatever you guys are thinking about, whatever you guys are strategizing about, I love it. Put it on paper, workshop it with yourself, with Dana, with me, with your friends. I don't care, but figure out how to execute those plans. And the goal in life, whatever that is, if you want to do 20 deals or 10 million or whatever that is, put it on paper and figure out how to work backwards and get to that goal so you can have yourself a successful year. And success is different in everyone's eyes. I love when someone's like, I want to do this, and they achieve that. That's fantastic. My life isn't for everybody. It's barely for me anymore, which is why I'm exiting. So it's just, it wears on you. It's a lot. Success it can be lonely at the top as much as it is, on your way up. So careful what you wish for. Set your goals, for yourself, not for someone else in mind. And make sure you guys are having balance in your life, both personally and professionally. Some things that I've really liked and that have helped me understand how different brokers have achieved success, because once you're there, you're wondering what to do next. And I've gotten a million phone calls and it was like, do you want to do more deals? And I was like, I actually don't. There was a point where it was like, I actually do not want to do more deals. I'm very comfortable where I'm at. And those are obviously sales calls, Zillow, and all those crazies calling me. But one thing that I really like are some podcasts. The Keeping It Real podcast, Hustle Humbly. Those are going to have successful brokers on those podcasts, and they are going to give you a little bit of insight as to how they became successful. Again, you guys know I was a review-based realtor, and that's what exploded my career. It was sort of a viral situation, and I got lucky. Hard work, but I got lucky. There's a lot of brokers on there that did not rely on luck or timing, or there are so many different ways to catapult into the success of real estate. So I suggest listening to the Keeping It Real podcast. It's actually a Chicago broker hosting the calls. There's some great agents on there. I was actually on there way back early on. The guy fucked up the audio, so it's a little ramble, but in the archives you could find me. But it was really educational for me to understand how some of these brokers went about their business, and some people are super intense. So you can watch. Really back to the idea of just being yourself. Most importantly, you really have to be yourself. Stay consistent, care about your clients, and they will care about you. That's the reality. You can't fake genuine care. So if you go into this and care about people, they're going to see it. They're going to know. I'm not talking people out of buying real estate as much as I have talked them buying into real estate. So know the property, know building materials, know the business, study, and you guys can achieve anything you want in this business with a lot of hard work. I promise you. That's pretty much my summary for a roadmap of real estate. And I do want to thank everyone on this call. I appreciate you guys showing up. If you have questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
I have questions. I have been taking notes this whole time. Thank you very much, Matt, because, there are so many ways that people can be successful. And I think you've shown that you integrate a lot of the different strategies, and this is where you could get to. And hearing it from somebody that has been there, starting off brand new, and now where you are and actually retiring from real estate, mid next year, it's great. And you shared so many good things. Overall, one thing I will say when you're talking about being genuine, there is this book, and I'm not a big gotta read a book a week type of a person, but somebody told me about this book not too long ago. It's called The Go Giver's Book, and you may have read it, but it is exactly about what you're talking about showing up authentically, and it's a cute little story. It's an easy read. I probably read the whole thing in like 2.5 hours. But the takeaways from it and the story about just being authentic, showing up. If you want to be involved with more people, be a real person. If you want to build more relationships and do more in business, impact more people in a positive way. Like, it's just the basic things, but it aligns so much with what you're saying. I love that all of the things that you articulated are about more than one thing and doing it consistently. You know, sometimes we think, oh, let's just send out this one email. Well, I did this one email 3 months ago.
Nothing happens.
And nothing, right? So it's like this consistency, and whatever way anybody figures out how to get there. There is the marketing plan that I just sent out. You can fill that in and use that for your next year goals. There's 100 different plans out there that you can take and use to create what you want to do next year, but have a goal and figure out a way to get there, as you said. And, you know, you listed 10 different ways, and the 10th thing was to set goals. It's all kind of about taking action. And I talk to a lot of people in this company and other companies, and one thing that I've noticed is sometimes we get so caught up in the, oh, I've got to get this marketing postcard just right, or I've got to spend some time thinking about how this is going to look. And there's no action. There's a lot of like being in school, but no graduating from the class and then doing all the things. And I think you've said it best today that you have to do the things. Don't spend as much time overthinking the things. Do them and do more than one thing. One question I have for you when we talk about reviews, and you built your business on reviews, how do you feel about when people post don't give you a great review? Do you think that you should publicize all reviews and not just only the good ones?
Horrible experience with a client, obviously don't ask them for a review. But if someone posts I honestly have not had a bad review. I just have not. So it's gonna happen. And it's going to happen, unfortunately, if you are not a good broker. So be thoughtful, be caring, ask obviously all of your clients for reviews that you've had a great experience with. If someone had a bad experience, make sure you understand why. Make sure you understand how you can remedy that, because I've obviously had bad experiences at places that are fantastic at customer service, but you sometimes have to give people a second chance. I don't know, but definitely be careful of that. Some people actually want to see bad reviews. It makes you human. You know,
and it's how you follow up with it. It's how you respond to it.
Yeah. There's a lot of chatter about responding to negative reviews. A lot of people say, don't do it. Don't get into the verbal battle online. You'll never win that. So a lot of times it's just an apology and you move on. Again, it humanizes you. Everyone is human. Everyone's going to make mistakes. But I do love the review world, and it's going to help give you guys credibility. It's a big ego boost too. Just getting those reviews built up. It's amazing. And early on, I mean, truth be told, I did ask some of my friends to write reviews that were like, hey, you know, I have some real client reviews, but can you help, you know, build my credibility online? So everyone does it. I mean, I'm not buying reviews, but they have scrubs on the Google reviews to do that. Although I have read that restaurants are now getting negative reviews, getting bribed to get them, taking them down. But you guys just use your plan, be smart. You won't get negative reviews. Do any of the brokers on here have questions? Somebody?
Wait, I have more.
Oh, go. Well, I want to know, because you're a professional. I want to see real.
So about the Google reviews, you mentioned Google reviews, just so you guys all see this. In the newsletter that we are sending out now, that's actually made through our presentation software that you can use for listing presentations, buyer rep presentations. Some of you've probably never even opened it. That's okay. I'm just going to tell you today that the newsletter that's going out this afternoon will have this recording, but it also will have the instructions on how to build your own Google review page, so that you can collect reviews from people through Google. And when people then look for realtors online in a city, your reviews will come up. We also have a review platform through the brand. It's quality service, and automatically a review, like a testimonial, will be sent out to your client at closing if we have their email address on file, and it'll ask them to give a review, and those can be automatically pushed out through a lot of different channels too. So there's 2 different ways to be collecting reviews. The instructions are in that newsletter.
One thing, let me touch on that really quick. One thing I was very adamant about was not asking clients to write reviews on multiple portals. That's asking a lot. Pick your lane. If you're going to use Google, use Google. If you're going to use Yelp, use Yelp. If you're going to use some other obscure, like Zillow has the review base, and some people live and die on Zillow. That's also fine. Tons of people are on Zillow looking for real estate. That's a great platform to use reviews, but you're never going to be able to have them write, 7 reviews on 7 websites. So pick one,
Yes.
maybe 2.
I agree. That's a good point. When you talked about the sphere of influence, is there anyone that you think that should not be in somebody's sphere of influence that they're reaching out to?
Absolutely
What
not.
about my mom's cousin? I don't know if she's going to buy real estate ever.
Okay.
She's like this old cousin, whatever. No.
Everybody and their brother should be in there.
Thank you.
Everyone and their brother. 10 times that. If you have your cousin's neighbor put them in, like, who cares? Let them unsubscribe. Be the real estate broker that is trusted. Be the real estate broker that is friendly. If you have 1 degree, 2 degrees of separation from that person, you're in. People, this is a huge purchase for people. They want to be able to trust you. And that is the number one thing when people are looking for a vendor, whether it's an HVAC tech, whether it's, look at the commercials that are out there, they all resonate, trust, trust, trust. So if you have that badge of honor and you are that trusted person in that sphere, it's a win. It is an absolute win, especially if you can back it up with, hey, I've done 20 deals of real estate. I worked on these deals. Like, whatever it is, figure out how to be that trusted person. You're going to win deals anytime you're referred.
Even the bagger at the grocery store, the mailman. The mailman's passing by my house right now. Like, I should get the mailman's email address and phone number and add that person to my sphere of influence, because their cousin, brother, or uncle could have somebody that wants to buy a house. And even if the mailman's not going to, I could get a referral from that. You mentioned knowing the market and always being learning, which I love that. You talked about those 2 podcasts, Keeping It Real and Hustle Humbly, but really just always be learning and knowing the market especially. Can you give a couple of tangible ways that agents can learn about the market? Like, where do they go?
They go to open houses. Like, they study the MLS. If you're living in Ukrainian Village and you want to know what's going on in Ukrainian Village, every single Monday, you better know what's new on the market, houses and condos. And if you're looking at multi-units, fine, it's a little specific. We do a lot of multi-unit deals with my little group, but if you're a condo single family person, know the market. Every single Monday, know what houses come on the market. That's 1. And 2, if there's open houses, go to them. Why not? You're going to learn how houses live, flow. You're going to hear realtors talk about their listing. You can't go wrong.
Speaking of hearing realtors talk about their listings, and we didn't rehearse this, I'm just saying, but you just led me to this next. You talked about Matt Larcy.
Yeah.
If anybody's not following him on social, I've been following him for years, and the only reason I'm going to say this is because the way that he promotes his listings today, and this is newer for him, maybe within the last 6 to 8 months, he creates a video of every listing that he gets, and his videos are captivating. They are funny. They are energetic. He walks you through the property, and it's like, I want to buy the property. I want to reach out to Matt and be like, oh my God, I do need that condo in River North for under $350, and I don't even want to live in the city. Watch those videos, just get some ideas, because that's an authentic way that he's done it for himself. And there's something to be said about today, how people want to view things online, and what he's doing is very captivating. Instead of just posting the link to your listing and letting people go look at it on a website, which is good. It's better than not doing anything. His videos are awesome and they're funny. And I don't know him personally. I've talked to him maybe twice on the phone, but I do know that I think I could afford a condo in River North for $350 as an investment property. And he's got a bunch of them, and his videos are very cool. So, had to bring up Matt Larcy. You talked about custom, ERA, or the brand, providing more on a monthly basis, more than neighborhood news for outreach for clients, because your whole point was you have to do more than one thing. So yes, you want to call people. Yes, personal handwritten notes on a monthly basis. Set a goal for sending out 10 of those. Doing an email blast is really helpful. And we do have neighborhood news, which does give your clients market insights, which you're talking about, knowing the market. wanting to say this to you, everybody, I've created custom campaigns in Moxie Engage just for these Judy's companies. And what those look like are better than when your lead comes in and the normal follow-up boss campaign would go out like, hey, are you looking to buy? Hey, are you ready to buy? Hey, I saw you looking at my listing. Can I show you that listing? Do you want to go see it? Hey, are you ready yet? Hey, it's been a few days. I haven't talked to you. Like, that's really annoying. And so we've taken that outreach from new lead to being an active buyer that signed a buyer rep agreement and they have a 30-day campaign of their own, to an under contract buyer having their own campaign, what happens when you're under contract, to sphere of influence that runs for 3.5 years. That's very genuine, authentic outreach that is not, do you know somebody? Are you ready to buy or sell again? You know, fall back, set the clocks back, like things that it's not generic, it's more genuine. So there's options for you in the CRM to be able to use to just have another form of not being a secret agent. Because if you're a secret agent and you do the transaction, but then you don't reach out to them only but once a year after that, they're probably going to forget about you when the other 10 realtors are in their face all the time reaching out to them. So I'm here to help you with Moxie Engage and that whole platform. And while technology can seem overwhelming, we could break it down, take it step by step, and set up some of the things that will just be those outreach things that are automated, what Matt's talking about, that you don't have to really think about anymore, but it's a part of your marketing strategy that's then taken care of for you. One other story I'll share, I was talking with a broker in Pennsylvania, actually, and he has his own company. And he was telling me that when he goes to parties on the weekends, and I'm not saying that anybody should do this because I kind of laughed when he told me this, but when he goes to parties on the weekends, parties, not real estate open houses or networking things, just like parties, dinners, he wears his real estate name tag. And he just walks around like, you know, I know, see, Jane's laughing. Like, I laughed. Like, he just walks into, you know, the Halloween party and he's got a real estate name tag on. And he's like, you know, but people start asking me, why are you wearing that name tag? And then it brings up a whole conversation about real estate. And now I've captured more people's attention. They know I'm a realtor. We're talking about real estate and I get clients from that. And I just thought, well, that's a good way not to be a secret agent. So, you know, if it works for you, great. But to Matt's point, wherever you are, strike up those conversations. Let people know that this is what you do and you're an expert at it. That, I think, were all of my questions. Anybody else? Adriana, Leslie, Shannon, Belle, Judy, Jane, Blaze, Cheryl. You guys work with Matt every day, so you probably ask him your questions every day. But anybody else on here? I hope I asked some good questions that are going to help everyone.
Well, appreciate both Matt and Dana. And Dana, everybody keep in mind that anything you need, any questions you have, she's here to help. And please reach out to her as well. And we appreciate you, Matt, with all your input on how to get business. It's good.
Happy to help. Happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy the slow time. It's going to be a busy year next year.
Belle says thank you in the chat. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt and Dana.
Great.
See you guys.
Cheryl, I'll see you in a couple minutes. And have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.